now, chance to talk to a man who did a lot of damage against the NFL on behalf of the Atlanta Falcons. This man is the former all-time leading receiver in yards and touchdowns for the Atlanta Falcons. He's a native of Stone Mountain, Georgia, basketball and football player at New Mexico. He's the first D1 player to have more than 4,000 receiving yards and 6,000 total yards. He is a college football Hall of Famer and the head football coach at dear old Morehouse College. He is Terance Mathis, joining us here in the locker room on the Fan, 680 and 93.7 FM.
I might have you travel with me and introduce me everywhere I go.
Isn't he great?
Yeah.
I mean.
And Fan doing weather? Hey, that's awesome, man. Boy, you are multi-talented.
Make it happen,
I did not know
We
that.
do it all, Coach.
Good to see you. It is.
Did you say you played basketball too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See me
I know we played hoop together. We used to
course.
travel around
Great
with the
basketball
Falcons.
player.
Mm-hmm.
We just go, and listen, you can confirm, I don't know if you remember or not, the dunk I had. What school were we at? Was it your high school or was it just some random place up in, it was in the middle of nowhere. We traveled there and played, some kid from Syracuse was there that was
It was in
alumni.
Jacksonville or somewhere.
Yeah, and I ruined this poor kid,
Yeah.
and next thing you know.
You dunked on a high school kid?
No, he's
Oh,
in college.
Syracuse,
He's in
college
Syracuse,
kid.
yeah.
Oh, he gets what he deserves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should have been out there.
Yeah. There you go.
Anyway, that's awesome.
Well, it's a fantastic time to get you in here. You're the former all-time leader in receptions. I remember when you passed Andre Rison. And we'll get to what you're doing at dear old Morehouse as you guys, and we are certainly folks that mean much to the Morehouse alumni family are excited about what you have coming on. But as you look at the Atlanta Falcons as we get started, a lot of pressure. And you've been a part of different teams, been a part of a team that didn't have expectations, part of a team that got hot. You guys go to the Super Bowl. When you start looking at what the Atlanta Falcons are, where should the fans be with expectations when you're talking about all of the assets that they've invested offensively, but then trying to defensively build up their team through the draft?
Well, I think they've done a good job in those areas offensively and defensively. First of all, the energy is incredible. If you go out to camp, as former players, we get a chance to walk the field and listen and watch, and Raheem is great. All the coaches are great. The players are upbeat. It's just a different atmosphere. I think this year, and I said this to somebody just a couple of days ago, if they're not winning the division this year, it's a shame. You have to battle with Tampa, but what the Falcons have done this offseason is prepared to win this division. And there's no reason they shouldn't if they stay healthy whatsoever. And I heard you guys talking about the preseason, who should play, why they shouldn't play. But let me tell you, after the Michael Vick debacle,
Yeah.
Arthur Blank said no more.
Vic broke his leg against the Baltimore Ravens years ago, and it still haunts us.
And he won't do it. That's just what the Falcons do. That's what they do. They
I brought up
rise up.
Yeah.
Byron Hanspard, too, who was a lightning fast running back out of Texas Tech. And it was a preseason game. He's going to the corner round. All of a sudden, he doesn't get up. What's wrong with him? He's like a little kid. Get up. What's wrong with him? Daddy, what's wrong with him? He can't get up and the season's over.
Yeah, he was supposed to be that 4-3 running back that we had that was the change up for Jamal. And then, we can go on the flip end. Jamal didn't even play in the preseason. He held out. First game of the year, he tore his knee up.
Right.
So
Yeah.
damn if you do, damn if you don't.
No doubt.
That's exactly right.
When you look at the way they put this team together offensively, I mean, you draft in the top 10 for 4 straight years. Do you think it's positioned to be a top 6 or 7 unit in this league?
They have the potential to, and it's all depends on the Penix. What he does is going to determine how well they are, but he has to be protected whatsoever. But also, you got to make plays, man. Even you can't just expect, hey, perfect balls, perfect position, whatsoever, perfect blocks. The players have to make plays at the end of the day. You got to do something extraordinary to help this team win.
Do you like Drake London, what he brings to the table?
I do. I watched him in training camp, and he's getting better and better every year. I still think they need that dude that just can do everything. Take the top off, possession, playing the slot, whatsoever. And then I think, at the end of the day, a guy like Drake London has to just adopt that and accept that and say, hey, coach, put me in the slot sometime, mix match right there. Those type of things. Hey, coach, hey, throw the deep ball to me. Let me go get it, whatsoever. I think he has to, he's been there long enough to demand that kind of respect.
Former Atlanta Falcon head football coach at Morehouse College, Terance Mathis, joining us here in the locker room on the Fan 680 93.7 FM. Touchdowns. You scored 66 touchdowns in your career. We're trying to figure out how to get Kyle Pitts on a trajectory where he's a touchdown machine. Is there a knack? Are there things in the red zone? Are there things that you do with your quarterback or your offensive coordinator that help touchdowns come consistently?
You got to want it. That's what it comes down to. You got to want it. You got to be you have to want to be on the field, and you have to ask, Coach, get me the ball, get me the ball, get me the ball. And then you prove it in practice. You know, when you're in red zone period whatsoever, you get open. You find a way to get open. Here's the thing. You have to be a student of the game. When I say a student of the game, I like my young receivers now at Morehouse, when we go one-on-one, and after about 3 or 4 reps, I'm going, what have you learned from this DB? Are you just running routes,
right.
or what are you learning? Does he play hard inside? Does he want to catch you at 10? Is he a good bump guy? Is he a good off guy? What is he? Is he physical? What is he quick? What is he? And then that's how you become good. That's how you become great. You know, you can't just say, I'm just going to go out here and run a play. If you haven't studied your opponent and know exactly what's going to happen in a situation, you can't be successful. Some guys get away with it because they're just physically and athletically talented. But if you're not that, you have to find a way to beat your opponent every week.
We've done a lot of talking about the Falcons. If you don't mind, I'd love to hear more about Morehouse in this year, what you're excited about for you. And then as you've transitioned into coaching and everything, what have you learned about yourself from the transition of player to coach?
Well, I'm in year 2. I have some scars from year 1. not just from losing games, just, you know, hey, just the fact of being a new head football coach and then things don't go well, how all the naysayers and people throw eggs at you, darts at you, spears at you, whatsoever, and you got to take them. You know, this year, you know, I had a full year of off season where we could recruit whatsoever. I think this 26 class is this 25 class is very, very special. We have depth, we have size, we have speed. I'm excited about it. There's a quarterback battle going on right now. Hopefully after this scrimmage on Saturday that we can determine who the starter is. We just have some dudes, man. In every room is competitive, and I'm excited about it. We have a full-time staff. See, a lot of people don't understand. Last year we had 3 full-time staffers and 6 part-time staffers. Oh my goodness. So we had to practice in the morning, and then the next time we seen our staff was 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So we didn't have time to meet with players and discuss in the middle of watch film, all those things. So when you, and I'm not knocking these guys, but when you have part-time coaches, you're going to have part-time players.
Sure.
So now that we have full-time staff, administrative staff, equipment, strength and conditioning, we're rolling now, man. And it's for me, the first person I fired at the end of the season was myself. I gave over the offensive coordinator reins, quarterback coach reins, and I'm still working with the wide receivers because I knew that all that I had to do administrative-wise and then trying to coach football, I was giving the kids a disjustice.
You have a quarterback battle. You just mentioned university. We have a couple of colleges that are going to be playing dual quarterbacks. Your thought on that? Are you a one quarterback guy? Can you win playing 2 quarterbacks on a football field? Is that good or bad for a program if you have more than one quarterback?
Well, it just depends. It just depends on those 2 guys. You know, if they both command leadership, whatsoever, and can control the offense, and it's hard is when do you pull a guy? When do you play the second guy? Mm-hmm. If this guy has 2 good series, you score points, do you play the second guy or you keep with the hot hand? But then, if he has 2 bad series and you pull him, does it hurt his confidence? Right. So it's a delicate situation, but at the end of the day, I'm at a point right now in my coaching career, my young head coaching career. I don't have time. We're trying to win now, and we don't have time to worry about feelings and all those stuff. Hey, we're gonna play the best players. I don't care if you've been here for 4 years, 5 years. We're gonna play the best players. Just because you're a senior, that doesn't mean you automatically are a starter. you have to deserve that and earn that. And it's so competitive now, man. And I always joke with the guys. I said, last year I sat back and I was real calm and cool, and I was the Kirk Franklin of coaching. I said, this year I'm a little bit more Kendrick Lamar.
Okay.
And when I say I'm on them, every little thing, from the socks to the pants, they come late, we do up downs, they miss, they don't practice that day. Everything. We wear slides, flip-flops, hoodies in buildings, hats in the buildings. We're running, or we're doing up downs. Because last year I told the players, I said, this is your team, and you manage your team. And it didn't turn out well. And I said, when I get involved, you ain't gonna like it. And but to their credit, they adjusted and they love what we're doing, and they've bought in.
Former Falcons wide receiver and head football coach at Morehouse College, Terance Mathis, joining us here in the locker room. Coming up, we'll get a conversation about leadership. We're trying to figure out for the Falcons who's going to be leading. There are a whole bunch of new faces we don't know anything about on the defensive side of the ball. And does your leader have to be the quarterback? We'll get to that conversation when we return here in the locker room on the Fan 680 and 93.7 FM. Welcome back in to the locker room on the Fan 680 and 93.7 FM. We are 2 days away from week 0, a couple of weeks away from game 1, week 1 of the NFL season, and the Falcons entertain the Tampa Bay Buccaneers week 1 inside of the Benz. Will Caleb McGarry be there? He was carted off the field yesterday with a lower leg injury. Evaluations continue today, and we'll see if some positive news comes from that situation. We're joined in studio today by former Atlanta Falcon Terance Mathis, head football coach at Morehouse College as well. And earlier in the show, we played a clip from Coach Prime where he was talking about what he expected from his students, that there will be no slides, you wouldn't be dressed any old kind of way, and if he caught you, there were going to be some problems. Your thoughts on that philosophy and what you implement now as a head coach as part of your coaching philosophy?
Well, that's my philosophy as well. Oh. You know, no pajama pants, no slides, no flip-flops whatsoever, no t-shirt, no tank tops and all that stuff. Who wants to see your armpits in the cafeteria? Who wants to see your toes in the cafeteria while you're eating, right? No hats, no headphones, no hoodies, and any of that inside the buildings. And the thing is, if they get caught with it, the team pays a price for it.
So it's not just an individual punishment, it's a team punishment.
It's a team punishment.
Okay.
And so that makes them accountable to each other. Hey, man, take your hood off. You know, because I sit in the cafeteria sometimes just to watch to see what other guys are going to do. And sometimes I got to, whistle, get him. And
so they can wear a hoodie, they just can't have the hood up.
They can't have the hood up.
Right, okay.
And you never know who's watching. I think that's the point.
You never know who's watching. Here's the thing, especially at Morehouse College, it's the premier HBCU in the country. So somebody and everybody's always walking that campus. You don't want a CEO, that's looking for a face of a product or somewhere else, and we say, hey, come check out the football players, and they walking around looking like, they half sleep. Right. I don't want you to represent my product. Even in practice, the way we dress and the way we go about our business, I always tell them, you never know who's here watching. And I says, I know a lot of people, and they just show up. And if you out here just lollygagging and you talking about playing in the NFL and you not, they're going to tell me, T-Mac.
What's your thoughts overall on NIL? I mean, it's 1,000 conversations you could have as a former college football player and a really good one, and now as a coach in an NIL era. What are your 10,000-foot opinions of, the different avenues from parents to players to coaches to guys who should get paid to guys who need to keep their mouths closed because they shouldn't be asking for money?
Well, we at Morehouse, first of all, we recruit the kid that wants to come to Morehouse. You have to want to come to Morehouse, right? It's not one of those, we don't take a kid that say, oh, by the way, I didn't get this, now I want to come to Morehouse. We know who those guys are, and we just tell them, hey, man, it's too late. Go somewhere else. I did have a situation when, I was recruiting a kid, and he says, Coach, how much you going to give me? And I said, son, you're talking to the wrong coach. Good luck to you. Have a good night. And I hung up the phone, and that was it. And he came back weeks later, and I said, son, no. Because at the end of the day, what are you there for? Are you there for education? Are you there to win championships, or are you there for the money? If you're there for the money, I'm the wrong coach to play for.
Well,
we were talking off the air about recruiting and some of the challenges maybe, and you mentioned Morehouse, obviously prestigious academic institute. I would probably gather to say most of the students are going there because they want to be there, and football becomes a part of it. But what's that challenge like, trying to recruit the right type of kid, knowing that there are other schools that are going to go out and, hey, we might give you 20, 30, 50 grand, whatever it may be, and kids might be looking for that 1AA or Division I offer?
Well, you know, recruiting for us is this. We go out and recruit 5-star, 4-star, 3-star kids because we figure, hey, we might as well swing for the fences.
Right.
You know, and if he has some interest and he posts something, hey, I got an offer from Morehouse College and he has all these Power 5s, guess what's going to happen? Everybody's going to be calling, hey, that must be a place to, and that's how we weed it out. And then, you know, when we travel and go to schools to recruit whatsoever, I go to these schools and you know, I'm not calling a school out, but what I dislike, and I'm not going to say hate, what I dislike is when I walk into school as a Morehouse coach, you give me a guy that hasn't played, potentially going to play, or have little film and say, oh, he can play at Morehouse. That's an insult.
Right.
So, we're a HBCU Division II program, so you think anybody can play for us. No, that's not how we recruit whatsoever. I want to see the best of them because I may be able to turn him. And so we go in there and we say we want to see the best guys. Because at the end of the day, you know, mom and daddy might have went to the HBCU,
right,
and been, hey man, we love for you to go to HBCU, and we got some good kids that way. And right now the high school kid is suffering the most.
Right. Yeah.
So they're trying to find a way. And so and how we recruit, when they sit in front of me, I says, hey, look, we're recruiting you because you're just as good or better than what we have. We can develop you and you can play Division I football. Or if you have a desire and we think you can play in the NFL, we're going to develop you to do that, right? So here's the thing. So that second part is we can develop you, right? If we're not moving to Division I, we can develop you. And after 2 years, if you say, Coach, I want to go D1 whatsoever, I'm going to help you.
Yeah.
I'm going to help you. Give me the schools you want to go to. We'll call and I'll help you. So now he goes there. He becomes all conference. He started at Morehouse. Doors, they're going to be knocking on the door. So we become this thing, but at the end of the day, what needs to happen is, because we've been poached at before with a couple of guys to go D1 and they decided to stay. But what's going to have to happen is this. If you take a kid from us and he goes D1, that should be equivalent of 2 scholarships. You got to give us something for it, right? So that helps us. So now instead of we having 36, we have 38 to give. And that's going to help us down the road because we're losing a great football player, so we need to be compensated for it. And I think that's the way it should go, you know, for lower level schools.
Talking about high school football, Friday Night Football is back with the best live high school football action from the region, followed by scores and highlights from around the state. Our Week 2 matchup features Alpharetta at Kell. August 22nd at 7:30 for Friday Night Football Game of the Week. Be sure to stick around afterwards after the game for the GHSA Scoreboard Show. Thanks to our sponsors, Georgia Power, First Horizon Bank, Whataburger, Northside Hospital, and Fox 5 Atlanta. Explain why you say it's so hard for these high school athletes, because I talked to Oscar Delp's dad, who has another son that's trying to get a scholarship to go play football somewhere, but he's having a tough time because of NIL, transfer portal, all the different things that are going on in college football now, where coaches aren't really interested in filling holes with freshmen in 3 years. They want the immediate satisfaction of transfer portal.
Well, it's not more. It's more of the transfer portal than it is the NIL, because of the fact that if you can get a player that have played and you don't have to really develop them as much, you're gonna go get him. Right, and that's how you get better right away. And it's no secret with us, you know, we have a talented roster right now. So in 26, recruiting 26, I hate to say it, we're gonna just go get the best available out there because we don't really have to use all 36. So we can go in the portal or go to JUCO and grab a guy that can immediate impact to our program. So, you know, it's hard because, you know, I look at...
So you keep saying 36, that's the amount of scholarships you guys have to give away?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, and they're not full scholarships for us. So it's one of those things. So it's really hard for us, right? It's tough. So we got to manage that money. You know, I'm salary cap guy and everything else.
You didn't know you had to be a banker and an accountant.
All that, yeah.
We're working on it, Coach.
Yeah, but the high school kid and the thing, here's what's good for our program. And as we talked about recruiting whatsoever is, we'll offer a kid and then in a couple of days or 3 days, we see a Power 5 offering that kid. So we know we up, at the right track. I can tell you now, we offered a kid offensive lineman, and a week later, Dion offered him. I said, and he ended up going to Colorado. Mm-hmm. So I'm saying, okay, we're up the right track.
Right, there you go.
Because, like I said, once he puts out there, hey, I got an offer from Morehouse, sometimes, when I tell the young man, I says, when I offer you, it's a committable offer. It's because I want you. I said, this is offers not to leverage somewhere else.
Right.
So I'm hesitant to offers until late.
Yeah. How much do you like or dislike that? The high school kids love to do that. They got to get on the gram, TikTok, wherever they're doing, Snapchat. They immediately want to put those offers out there. Do you feel a lot of them do that? They use schools to say, hey, I got an offer, hoping for a better offer.
Well, it happens a lot, and it happens to us. And then at the end of the day, they come back to us and say, you made me an offer. I'm ready to come to school there. I get calls from parents and coaches whatsoever. I says, we haven't talked to this kid in 2 months.
Right.
And I thought he was going somewhere else, so we took him off the board. He don't return phone calls, text messages. Hey, he's off the board, but you offered him, coach. And I says, well, that don't mean I'm going to sign him. Right. I says, because at the end of the day, he had other offers and he was entertaining them. You had to want to come to Morehouse. You had to say, coach, I'm committed to Morehouse. And we get a lot of kids that use our offers as leverage.
Former Atlanta Falcon wide receiver, head football coach at Morehouse College, Terance Mathis, joining us here in the locker room. Leadership. We're looking for leadership for the Atlanta Falcons. And we have a lot of first and second year players who are going to be expected to get to the quarterback, get some sacks, get some turnovers on defense. Where do you think the Falcons need to go? You do have some veterans mixed in with Caden Ellis. You have, you do have some guys that have been around, but when a lot of the playmakers are young, how is leadership and how are results supposed to intersect for wins for the Falcons and for this defense to improve?
Well, it's one of those things it has to be organic. You can't just say, I'm going to step up and be a leader, right? First of all, your teammate's going to have to like you. Yeah. Okay. Right? They're going to have to respect you. And you're going to have to be a dude on the field before you become a leader. You can't just be vocal and say, come on, guys, this, that, blah, blah. And you're just a dude, you're just a guy, right? So, it just has to play out. And I think, guys like Drake and those type of guys can slowly step up organically and become leaders because they're playmakers whatsoever. And, Fan been with us, we play together and all that stuff, and each room has a leader, has a top, has a top dog in that room that the other guys look at. Hey man, how can I do this? How can I do this better? And then they watch him, and they become better because he's out there doing the work, and it comes by position. I don't think it's one person.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it's one person. It's always a person that may be up to be All-Pro or Pro Bowl that gets the attention, but I think it comes from a group of guys. I think it comes from every position. I think you lead by position, and then organically someone to step up and be that dude for you.
What do you think when you see these salaries wide receivers are getting? Finneran almost has a stroke every time a new guy signs.
It's a different time and different time. It's not even fair even talking about it, but it's good for those guys. Good for these young guys.
You know what?
He about left the room.
You can't get mad, right? But God, dog.
It would have been nice.
I'm like, we always, when we get together, we always compare, what would you think you would be worth in today's game for the productivity you had when you played? I said about $115 million.
You had a couple hundred catch seasons.
85 guaranteed.
Terance is one of those guys. We talked about getting in the end zone earlier, and it's a want-to factor.
Yeah.
As a Falcon, 57 touchdowns and 573 catches is what does that
That's
put
your
him?
Hall of Fame credentials.
It absolutely is, because in my opinion, if you go look at all the Hall of Fame wide receivers, almost to a man, every one of them average at least one touchdown per 10 catches. And that's right where you live, because, Terance wasn't a big guy, but he played big because he wanted to sniff out the end zone and be there and get first downs and do all those different things. So it was just, I always thought that was interesting, watching you play and guys around you that time. how much do you love it, and how much do you want to get in the end zone?
I was 6'5", 215 on game day. Then I went back to 5'10", 185 as a normal human being.
Yeah.
Who are some of your favorite players to watch right now in the league?
You know what? I don't watch the game as much as I used to because of my job.
Of course.
You know, and the thing is, I try to watch the Falcons as much as I can because that's my team. Watching anybody else, you know what? I like the Ravens because of Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
You know, the way he plays whatsoever. It's interesting everything that's going on with the Steelers and the Giants and the Jets and that whole dynamic with the quarterback changes because these guys have pretty much 1 foot, maybe not Fields, but one play out the league.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting to me. And, you know, it's just, I think the NFL has, some people think it's not good, but I think the NFL has done a good job of what we call parity. You don't
fantastic.
know. You don't know. And I think that when we play, you kind of knew who were the top teams you had to go against.
It was
and
the
who you
Cowboys,
had
the 49ers.
49ers, the Packers, and those type of teams. But now you don't know. And that's the beauty of the game.
Speaking of don't know, we have to ask. So Finn don't know about an HBCU homecoming.
Can I just get my feet wet in a regular football game at Morehouse, please?
Jay-Z said, fresh out the frying pan into the
Kentucky
fire.
State comes in on September 20th.
No.
System overload, John.
We need you there, homecoming.
I would get you an all-access pass, and you can
Okay.
stand on the sideline and watch this show.
Is that for the whole show?
I don't know if I'm ready for it.
Yeah. It's going to be
A lot of times
bands.
a tall,
Don't be
white
hey,
guy
man.
walking around that campus and we looked at
It's a
funny
good
every
thing.
once in a while.
No, you
It's a
ain't going
good
to be
thing.
looked at funny. I can promise you that.
No, a tall white guy walking on campus, they're going to think you somebody. They're going to say,
are
oh, he got
somebody.
money. He must
There
be
you
giving
go.
money to
That's
the
so
program.
funny.
See, now you can walk
I am
around like
excited.
you Arthur Blank's son.
That's, I'd love to come check it out. We can. All right, we can make.
I got him, Coach.
Okay.
We'll bring him down there. We'll
All
give him
right.
the full shebang. I got him.
Well, speaking of Arthur Blank, you know, I just want to say thank you to him. He purchased 100 new helmets for the program.
Nice.
That has been awesome. You know, he's been a friend to the program. The NFL as well have bought $90,000 worth of weight room equipment that'll be installed on the 25th. So, I mean, we have a lot of support. The football alumni have raised so much money to help us scholarship-wise to make sure these young men can go to school and play football. So this year has been phenomenal with the support that we've had. Like I said, the scars from last year made me stronger, made me a little more edgier. I clap back quicker. But
You said you were Kendrick.
Yeah, hey man, I clap back quicker, and some parents don't like it, some people don't like it. But you come after me,
Start
I'm
winning a bunch of
stopping.
games. See how much they like it.
Oh yeah,
That's
Yeah.
it. Wrapping up with Terance Mathis. Final 2 cents on just your thoughts on the Falcons. There are a lot of expectations. We have not had a playoff game in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Michael Penix Jr., Drake London, Bijan Robinson, Jalen Walker, James Pierce Jr., Jesse Bates. Your thought as a player, a coach, and as a fan, the expectations for the Falcons, which are many and huge for this season.
Well, you know, I hear all the time we haven't been in playoffs in 7 years. I said we because I am a Falcon. You know, we always talk about the past so much. You know, we didn't do this. They couldn't do this. They can't do that. So let's speak life. Let's speak positive into this football program and this football team. And let's see what they can do before we start talking about the negatives. You know, we haven't even seen them play a regular season game, and we're already saying this. I know we got to talk about it. We got to talk about the what ifs, but what ifs don't win football games, right? So, and I think this team has a great opportunity. And I'm not going to say they're going to surprise anybody or shock the world. It's just who they are. They're just a good young football team. And when you have a good young football team, they don't know any better.
Right.
They just go out there and play, right? And that's all you ask for. And I think they'll win this division, like I said earlier.
Former Atlanta Falcon head football coach at Morehouse College, Terance Mathis. We thank you for your time.
Thank
Good
you.
luck this season, and we'll see if the Mighty Maroon Tigers can be a team that is formidable in the classroom and on the football field to bring some great joy to the city.
Thank you, man.